What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Cyrus Obsidian here to bring you another Local Diaries. With today's Local Diaries, today is hopefully our sneak preview. I know, a little late for Age of Overlord, but due to our shop not being able to obtain the kit, our store is most likely going to host a sneak preview for tonight. But anyways, for today, we are going to be piloting Rescue Ace. We may not have the Diabellestar stuff yet, but we've made some changes to our Rescue Ace, and we're hoping to pilot this to a victory so we can hope to pick up some of that stuff for Rescue Ace and for our new Supreme King's Arc, which we will hopefully be piloting here soon on this channel. So without further ado, let's show you the updated profile. Alright, let me showcase some of the changes that we have made to our Rescue Ace. So I mean, we'll just blow through the standard line of triple hydrant, double turbulence, double preventer, triple airlifter, triple impulse, one engine, one fire attacker. We're still keeping the same lineup just because we do not have our new Diabellestar support. Hoping to pick that up soon for this profile, but we'll see what happens. With the prices being so high, I don't know if I'll be able to get enough trading in for them, but we'll see. But still playing the same one HQ, one alert, one rescue, one extinguish, one contain, and we decided to throw in one reinforce along with triple emergency. So this is the only thing that's changed, is throwing in the one reinforce, and I'm just giving it a try again. I did play reinforce in the past, and I'm wanting to play it in because I knew there were some occasions where I was really wanting it for closing games, and so we're going to test it out, see how well it works. Then some power 1-ofs, one called by, one Rhoda, and one 1-for-1. So I'm playing 1-for-1 for another way to get into my hydrant, but also for a way to get into our 1-of Jet Synchron. So I am trying out the Jet Synchron route, even though I may not have the Diabellestar engine quite yet. We are going to play the 1 Jet Synchron just to kind of give our deck an extra boost in power. And so because we don't have the Diabellestar engine, we are playing triple Cashtira Fenrir, because Fenrir is just a really great bait. It is also just a really great card, free body on the board, and if your opponent happens to activate anything, that's a monster effect. Well, what do you know? We get a banish card on the field. So, well, at least face-up card. But still a really good card to play, and it's a level 7, which we will get into when we see the extra deck. And then for our hand traps, we are playing triple Ash, triple Nib, and triple Imperm. I'm playing this as a lineup instead. I know I've shifted a lot with my hand trap lineup in this deck, but I'm thinking Nibiru might be solid, especially since there aren't decks that are putting a negate up before their 5th summon. So things like Unchained, you know, we can take a hit advantage on. We can also take an advantage on, at least at my locals, Dino, since that's a thing. And, you know, I don't know, there might be some other decks that it might work against. My locals is very sporadic and different. It's got very big diversity, and if tier comes back into my locals, well then we'll have an answer, I guess. So moving on to our side deck, we'll show you the side before we get into the extra. We're playing triple Ghost Spell, triple DD Crow, and triple Truist Worm. So tons of graveyard hate, I know, but we're in a format where the graveyard is being used a lot. And you know, another card that would be really good would be Silent Graveyard, just because of tier limit coming back into the format, and the Horus cards being a new addition to graveyard heavy stuff. You know, this will help facilitate, you know, these 9 will help facilitate that part of the graveyard abuse, along with, you know, Phantom Knights coming back. If Phantom Knights do come back, you know, we want to have some form of answer for the graveyard. So that's where all of these hand traps come in. And then my classic line of 1 Cosmic and a Duster with triple evenly matched, just because I don't like the back row, I fear the back row, so we're going to play stuff that gets rid of the back row. Now moving on to our extra deck. So I've made changes since our last profile, obviously. So we're playing for synchros, we're playing 1 Borreload Savage and 1 Baron de Fleur. as I was saying with Fenrir is a 7, Jet Synchron's is a level 1, Warlord Savage. Turbulence is a 9, Synchron is a 1, Free Baron. So I mean, we're going into a Synchro route just for extra negates, just to kind of facilitate some boards. We are also playing 1 Dweller for that graveyard heavy stuff again, just because Dweller is really great at that. Then we're playing 2 linked ones, Anima and Linkuriboh. I still like Anima over Almirage, just because Anima is just really great at yoinking a monster. If your opponent doesn't play columns very smartly, you can yoink something and just ruin their day. So why not make the most of that? Next, the Link 2s will look pretty similar. Still playing the 1 IP. We did add Barricade Board Blocker just to get our field spell back to our hand. A lot of times my opponent has gotten rid of my field spell to my grave, or if it's milled to the grave, I want a way to get it back. So Barricade Board Blocker is there. We also play the 1 Puzzle Mino just so we can get into the Abyss Dweller. Almirage, or sorry, Sunlight Wolf, not Almirage. Kita, and then the Nightmare Phoenix for our Link 2s. Just spot removal when you get into pickle. It's really great to add resources to hand. Sunlight Wolf, get that Ash back. And then, yeah. Then for our Link 3s, we just play the Heat Soul and Unicorn. I decided to lower it down. I really never went into Heat Leo. And so Heat Soul, in my opinion, is still better, just getting draw power. Unicorn just being a free spot removal for anywhere on the board. So that's the reason why I took out Heat Leo. Might end up coming back, but don't know. And then for our last 2, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. Again, for graveyard heavy stuff, also being able to just use IP Masquerena to link into this is really great. SP Little Knight would be its replacement, but because SP Little Knight is a little bit more on the expensive side, Underworld Goddess is just really great. And then Access Code is Access Code. Can't you really complain about it? Sure you can, but I mean, when it comes to closing out games, that's the card you want. So that is my updated profile, and this is kind of our sneak preview tonight. Again, so we're just gonna see what we can do. Hoping to top with this deck profile, so let's head on over to our locals, see how we do tonight.
All right, you guys, so here we are. Round 2 is got like 2 minutes left, minute and a half, whatever. So round 1, we play against a kid who's playing Supreme or Zark, which is really cool to see. No new support. He's kind of playing a little bit old school, which is really cool to see. Unfortunately for him, I was able to sweep 2-0. We did talk afterwards, and I'm going to help him build out the deck, and I was successfully able to get the stuff that I needed. I bought 1 box, and I was able to pull all the Supreme King stuff I needed for the deck. Unfortunately, no Diabellestar, but I did pull some of the Horse cards, so I'm looking to flip those. Some people are already eyeing me for them, so it's really nice. Round 2, we play against Dino. Last time we played against Dino playing Rescue Ace, we got Calamity locked, and that was not fun. So today we made sure that did not happen. I went first. I was able to set up a very, very good board, 5 back row, 2 imperm, and I was able to he played through all my stuff, but he made the mistake of playing in the imperm column. And that's what cost him game 1. Game 2, he didn't open up a good hand. I impered, and he scooped. So we ended up taking a win there. So we're 2-0 right now, going into round 3. We'll see what happens. There might be a round 5 tonight due to so many people, but we'll see what happens. So stay tuned, you guys. Also, Age of Overlord, just like my really quick synopsis on it, I think it's a really good set. Not sure if it's really meta-defining, really game-changing, but it adds more to the game where we're still in a format that's really diverse and really exploratory. It gives decks options that, in the cash format really didn't have a chance to play again, just play at all. Where this gives that option, things like Rescue Ace to get book or buffs, Anchor Soul, older decks like Phantom Knights, Tier Lament, those can start coming back into the format, and it'll be really interesting to see it. So I mean, that's my hot take, but hey, so again, I think round just 10 ended, so that's time. So we'll see you in round 3, guys. All right, you guys, so round 3 just ended. Going up against a Malefic Pile, level 10 Exceed Pile, which was really cool to see. Game 1, I just kind of opened up the nuts and just obliterated. Going into game 2, though, I barely won, so he has a point. I barely won. He spear moded my entire field. So everything I had set was pointless. He sphere moded my entire field away, and I had to I made some miraculous comeback from that sphere mode. I don't know how, but Fender in hand to tribute the sphere mode was actually pretty good. So we were able to take the game from there. But that's round 3. Round 4, I'm pretty sure I know what the matchup is. So we'll see what happens in that matchup, which I'm kind of excited for. Historically, it's been a pretty fun, pretty good matchup. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens in the next round, duelist. All right, you guys. So round 4, there's 5:55 left in time. We play against our lovely Vanquish Soul. So I knew the match was coming up. And honestly, this was the match I was most interested to see how this new updated version would play against. Because it's the deck, Vanquish Soul I think is one of the top 10 contending going into Age of Overlord, just because of the new support that Zhao Long gave. But game 1, I was able to set up presence, controlled it, did rest race things. Games 2 and 3, I was met with evenlies, just board breaking, and I had no recovery. So I lost it there. I see where the Diabellestar engine comes in, being able to help me get into Baron, helping me get into Borlo Tappage. So that way I have that negate for evenlies, for the non-targeting pops, things like that. But yeah, that was it for me. I did not survive very long. So I could also see a valid warrant for Book of Eclipse back into the main. I'll probably end up taking out either the Ghost Spells, put Nib in the side, or taking out DD Crow in the side, put Nib in the side, just so I can play Book of Eclipse from here on out. I think Book of Eclipse is a good card going into this meta. But that's it for this locals. I guess we'll wait for standings, so let's see what comes up. So that is everything with locals. Today we took 5th, which is kind of disappointing. I was expecting to place a little bit higher, like 2nd place, especially since I only lost was in the last round, but whatever, the system deems that I took 5th, so take 5th, didn't get any good prize support, unfortunate, but hey, the fact that I only lost to Vanquish Soul tonight was really great. Playing against Pendulum, 2-0 sweep, playing against Dino, 2-0 sweep, playing against Malefic Pile, 2-0 sweep. Sure, the decks weren't meta heavy decks, but I mean, these decks are still challenging decks to play against, and we were able to take the 2-0 sweeps on them. Vanquish Soul being the biggest challenge of the night, and honestly, I have to give it to Am for the player. He was really great pilot, honestly, big brain plays, and he played around most of my interruptions, if not all of my interruptions throughout the entire round, and he deserved it. So Vanquish Soul is definitely the deck I think to beat this format, but I could be wrong. We are pretty early in the format. But that is everything for our local diaries. Again, guys, if you like the content, like and subscribe, and be prepared for our next local diaries, because we are setting our pendulum scales and we're going to swing into action. So we'll catch you then, duelists.